how you can up your nutrition game. So some of you already might be really good at balancing your meals, you might be really interested in nutrition. So I thought I'd just give you some tips on how you can upgrade your nutrition even more. There's always room for improvement, isn't there? So number one, this is such an obvious one, so apologies, but I've got to say it, is try and make a few more things from scratch. So I'm not suggesting that you need to, bake your own bread or anything like that, but you might do already. But there might be a few things that you rely on a little bit that you could maybe even make from scratch yourself. So, maybe it's just a little frittata or, a tomato sauce or something like that. So making a few things from scratch. I am not suggesting that every single meal needs to be made from scratch every single day. You've got to start from where you are and just change, what you can. So you might already be making every single thing from scratch, and that's brilliant. But there might be some of you who only make a few things from scratch now and again. So that's just one thing, one place to start. Okay. Another real game changer is plan your breakfast and lunch. So I'm not suggesting again that you have some sort of crazy timetable where every single meal is planned and prepared, and who really can do that. But just now and again, particularly on busy days, have at least a thought about what you're going to have for breakfast and lunch, because if you want to stay on track with your healthy eating, then just grabbing something out the cupboard first thing in the morning is probably not going to support you. So it is useful. I mean, I like a bit of winging it personally, but I always make sure that my fridge and cupboard supports that. So there's always things in my fridge that I can just grab. So I suggest that you think about that. So maybe there are certain days when you might want eggs for breakfast, and other days when it's just not at all a possibility because you're so busy. But plan a few things. So maybe you've made some soaked or overnight oats or something like that for some of your busy days. Maybe you've made some frittatas or something like that for other days. So just now and again plan your actual breakfast and lunch, because those are the meals that we often see are the lowest in nutrients, the poorer choices. So actually, we might think about what we're having for dinner and get that all planned, but thinking about planning your lunches and breakfast can be a real game changer. For me, for lunch, I just generally have certain things in stock. So I always have lentils in the cupboard. I quite frequently will roast some vegetables and have them in the fridge sort of ready to go. Or in the summer, not so much that, but I'll have tomatoes on the side. And so that will be kind of one of my starchy carbs. I will have, I sometimes will eat really similar things. You've seen my posts on feta. But have those things in the fridge that you can grab and go, basically. So that's my second one. So another one is about diversity. So a huge thing for supporting your gut health and your general health is to have a more diverse diet. And you can diversify your diet without buying loads more different things. You can do it in all sorts of ways, and it doesn't just have to be plant foods. It can be, choosing slightly different types of cheeses and things like that as well, if that's more of your preference, different seafood. But what I like to do is, and this is so simple, and actually somebody shared a research paper today about the benefits of adding culinary herbs to your dishes and the health benefits that has. So even if it's just changing up just a few sprinkles of herbs, or putting fresh herbs into things like salads, adding them to eggs, putting them in your dishes, even if there's only a small amount, it does add nutrients, it does add colour, it does add diversity. So I really recommend that. And that brings me to another point, which is about, are you able to grow your own of anything? Now, I don't really grow very much of my own, but I do have a good herb garden. I have sort of basics. There's a few things missing that I still need to plant and grow. But just being able to snip a few little fresh herbs can be really satisfying, but also can really increase the nutrient content of your food. For example, parsley is packed with vitamin C, so just a sprinkle of it can really just increase a little bit of your nutrients there. So that's another one. Just going to look at my list. What else? Oh, you could add fermented foods. Fermented foods don't suit everyone. If you have got some digestive issues or imbalances or histamine issues, they can, don't always suit everyone. So fermented foods, I'm talking about things like sauerkraut, kimchi, so fermented vegetables, green olives, hard cheeses like parmesan, things like miso. By the way, sourdough bread is not a fermented food. So even though sourdough bread is probably better than the average loaf, even though it's got a fermented starter, it's not actually considered a fermented food. So sorry about that. Fermented yogurt, so it's got to have live cultures, something like kefir, that's fermented food. So that can be really helpful. Lots of research to support how that supports some good gut health. And what else have I got? Oh yeah, the last thing is just a summary really of the golden rule. And the golden rule really is, if you're not sure if something's healthy or not, just think about how natural it is. So if in doubt, eat natural and base your meals around proteins, fats and fibre. So from whole food sources. I hope you found that helpful.